much I can do about that. Hopefully the audio is coming in clear with this camera. I've got long tubes on the way. Oh yeah, that's another update. I got long tubes on the way. I'm going to make a separate video about that once they arrive. I'll post some pictures of when they arrive. Alright, so here's the Q&A. Alright, let me go through one by one. I know there were some funny ones. Corey RTTS asks me, do you like long walks? I do in fact like going out for a walk, taking my dogs for a walk. I like long walks on the beach. Obviously, I don't like walking around outside. I don't like going outside in general when it's like either too cold or too hot. If it's like 70 degrees or low humidity and like 80, that's like perfect for me. Okio. Eric asks, do you touch yourself at night? Only when I think about him. Kobe, what's your end horsepower goal? For my car, to be honest with you, my end horsepower goal is probably going to be around 700 for right now. I think that's a great number for me. Right now, currently, I'm at like low 600 wheel horsepower, or estimated low 600 wheel horsepower. And it's plenty for me. Obviously, if I'm running against like a twin turbo Viper or something, I'm going to get walked. But for me, low 600 is okay. 700 is what I want to ultimately hit. ISRCR asks, does the Cervini's ram air hood have extra clearance under it, or does it just route to a cold air intake? And did you like the true fiber ducktail spoiler? First part of the question, yes, the Cervini's hood does have routing for a ram air intake. They don't have the ram air kit available yet for the hood, but there is a spot where you can place it. So there's plenty of clearance for that. The second question was, did I like the true fiber ducktail spoiler? Yeah, it was okay. I didn't have any problems with it installed. They didn't include a template with it. And outside of that, I had no complaints outside of it. I thought it looked a little out of place on a white trunk lid. Until you looked at it up close, it just looked like a black spoiler on a white trunk lid. I'm not a huge fan of splitting up the colors like that. It looked like it was just a lot of tacked on stuff. I like it to kind of flow in one way. You know, it was just like a white hood flowing all the way back to a white spoiler. For me, that's just what I preferred. The next question, how long do you plan on keeping the Mustang? That's a really good question, because my last one, my 05 that I supercharged, I ended up keeping it for I want to say about 6 years. Really loved that car. Didn't have any complaints about it. And when the Coyotes came out, I really wanted to get a Coyote car in 2011, but money wise I didn't make as much money, so it wasn't really an option for me. So yeah, I plan on keeping this car for a long time. The only time I think I could ever consider trading in for it is if they develop a new GT. I would trade in for a new GT with a different chassis, maybe a flat plane crank, 5-liter possibly. They bring the 350 technology down into the standard GT. Let's see. I would consider trading in if they really revamped it and gave me something that I would want to trade in for, magnetic suspension, something like that. But I love my car right now. Whipple versus Procharger, who would win in any situational experience? So this is kind of a loaded question, because Whipples and Prochargers are both superchargers, but they deliver power very differently. One delivers power instantly with all the boost right away. The other one gradually builds it by your RPM, how fast you're spinning the actual blower. So those two trains of thought, like, you kind of have to pick which one you prefer. Do you prefer instant power, instant torque, or do you prefer more of a controllable build-up in power? It really depends on what you're going for. Now, you also have to think too, with the different types of power delivery, you're going to probably brake a little bit more on a Whipple type of blower than you would a Paxton or a Vortec or a Procharger. Any situational experience, I've ran 2 Whipple cars. Now, mind you, I'm running stock cats, running low boost. I don't have a boosted pump. I'm running low boost currently. The 2 Whipple cars that I ran are full bolt-on Whipple cars, boost to pump. around between mid to upper 600s to low 700 wheel horsepower. The 2 times that I ran them, they pulled on me about a car and a half, 2 cars, which is going to be a given for a 50 to 100 horsepower difference. But I have a video uploaded of when I ran Alex's Whipple 2.9 car. So right now, performance-wise, I just have the Procharger, so that kind of gives you an idea. What mod was your biggest challenge? That's a really good question too. To answer that, I would have to say the Procharger. The Procharger took a lot of time to data log. I would say a good couple days to get a good tune on it. It took all day for Ryan and my help, just a little bit of help to install it. I would say that was very challenging because it took so long to dial in, but it was kind of expected somewhat, because you know, you are changing your injectors, you are installing a supercharger, so a little bit of care has to go into the tuning aspect of it, because they need to dial it in correctly. So that would be the biggest challenge that I've had with my car so far. What was your first car? Well, there's really 2 parts to that. My first car was a 1993 Mercury Sable. It was kind of one of those old school boxy Taurus looking cars. It was basically a Taurus but a Mercury name on it. The car that really got me into cars was a 2000 Mercury Cougar, and I was involved with that community in the late 90s, early 2000s. It really developed my passion for cars. I did a lot of, I did nitrous on that car. I did 4 different body kits. Remember, it was early 2000s, so the Nopi stuff was really popular. So yeah, that's really the car that got me into cars and the automotive community in general. Let's see what the next question is. What other cars were you considering when you got the Mustang? If you were talking about this current Mustang, I really was considering, I hate to say it, but I was looking at maybe a 335i BMW, because twin turbos. I was looking at possibly a new STI because I'd been a Subaru guy for a long time. I was involved with the NASDAQ community, and yeah, those were the cars I was looking at. Maybe an Evo. I just wanted to make big power. I wanted a solid chassis, and I wanted good suspension. So the S550 platform was really kind of what drove me. And when I took it for a test drive, that was it. I was hyped on it. I couldn't really get much for the money. Mustang, Corvette, Camaro, or Challenger, and why the Mustang? I think they are all very good cars in their own respect. I am not a huge Challenger fan. I think they look awesome. I'm just not a fan of the driving experience in the Challenger. I'm sure the Hellcat's awesome. The Gen 5 Camaro, I don't have any problem with. I think it looks okay. I think it looks all right, and I think the LSX platform is, a great motor. They do a lot of amazing things with it. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with any of the cars. I know, being a Mustang guy, I'm supposed to not like them, and I guess it's whatever. I do encounter some asshole Camaro Challenger drivers, but I'm sure they encounter the same thing from Mustang owners too. So yeah, let me get to the next question. How much did your Procharger cost you? Do you have any reliability issues? Do you wish you went another route? Alright, I'll answer that. Reliability issues, I don't really have any reliability problems. I've taken this car on a few road trips since then. I've gone to the track a few times. Never really had any issues. The only thing, it had to be tuned properly to get rid of some surging problems, and I don't really have any surging problems right now. If I get on it, it accelerates like it should. It builds boost. There's no bucking. There's no surging. When I first got the car, it was pretty bad. It was pretty nasty. But John Lund was able to tune it out properly and got me taken care of. I did have some problems with intercooler piping getting blown off. That was an install issue, not a Procharger issue. The cold side, or the hot side, I can't remember. It's not really a turbo, so it doesn't really count. The left side of the intercooler, if you're looking straight ahead at the car, it had to be removed, and I had to adjust the piping a little bit, so I had to take care of that. outside of that, drivability wise, I mean, I'm driving the car right now. It's been boosted for a few thousand miles and I have no problems at all with it. And that traffic is really horrible and I've got to come back that way. So I'm probably going to stay up there for a little while tonight. But yeah, the Procharger system, it retails for about, I want to say about $6,000. The injectors cost me about $1,000. They're ID 1000 cc injectors. Plenty of fuel. How much did everything cost? How much horsepower? I kind of just went over how much everything cost. How much horsepower right now? It should be the low 600s. How did you like the true fiber spoiler? I already kind of answered that. It was alright. I had no complaints. It just looked weird on a white car. Let's see. What got you into the car game? That's a really good question. And I will go ahead and tell you guys. It might be kind of cliche, but I've always liked cars. I actually like car audio first before anything. Car audio was kind of my thing in high school. I was into sound systems. So naturally, the progression was, oh, get into the car stuff. You know, if you like car audio, you might as well like car stuff. And right about that time I was into car audio, Fast and the Furious came out, and I saw it with a buddy, and I immediately got hooked. You know, I was all into that race. Like, I was just like, man, I gotta get neons, I gotta do this. And that just kind of started my whole obsession with car stuff. And, you know, it kind of rolled into the car that I had at the time, and I got involved with the car community. Like, I had a lot of personal relationships with some people in the car community. I dated a few people in the car community. Just having those experiences, it kind of just stuck with me in my early 20s. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I probably would have done differently, knowing what I know now. But, you know, no regrets. You live and learn. And now I'm driving. It's almost like a dream car to me. So I'm kind of really thankful for all of the people that I've met and have helped me out and kind of shaped and molded me into who I am today, and as far as car stuff goes. So yeah, that, you know, the movie kind of got me into the car game a little bit more, and it got me more involved with the people. So, you know, I had a WRX, I had a 300ZX. The Subaru was kind of a dream car. Problems, and I got rid of it for my first Mustang a while back, and never looked back after that. So, do you touch Eric at night? Yes. 50 Gains asks, let me try not to wreck here. Do you think they will make a GT350 hood replica for the 15? They already have. I think Carbon Dynamics is doing it. I don't know when it's available. I don't really follow that. But they are going to make some replica parts. It's up to you. I think my personal opinion, I'm going to interject my little opinion here because it's my channel. GT350 parts, a couple things, okay, I get if you're trying to make a full-on replica. I hope you don't put a 350 logo on it, because that would be total rice. So yeah, it's up to you if you guys want to do that. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I think it's just for looks. The 350 is wider. Why did you get a Ford Mustang? I already kind of mentioned that. Oh, you know what? I kind of didn't mention that, because why did I get a Ford Mustang? When I originally had my Subaru WRX, that was kind of it for me. I just wanted a WRX, and I had it, and it was giving me a lot of problems. And when I went to go trade it in, because I was just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, I don't want to deal with the problems that came with the Subaru, I was looking at an 06 WRX at the time, and the person, when I actually showed up to pick it up, there was another person that ended up buying it the same morning that I went to go look at the vehicle. So I was really super bummed. But I was having problems with the center differential on that WRX, and I ended up getting a really good trade-in on it. They didn't really test drive the car, so I was like, damn, I gotta find something on this dealer lot to trade my car in, because I don't want to deal with this problem and find another dealership that might find out that there's something wrong with it. Whatever, you know, it's almost like don't ask, don't tell. So it was a Mazda Speed 6, which is turbo and all-wheel drive, kind of what I had, but more of a family sedan. But I had always wanted a V8, and I saw this white Mustang. It was a 2005 GT Mustang, and I really, really wanted it. I really liked it, but I wasn't sure. You know, being a Subaru guy, you're kind of, you know, taught to hate Mustangs, really, kind of. You just don't really, Mustangs in general, if you're an import guy, you don't like them, you know, for whatever reason. And I guess I had been around so many people that just said that, I just kind of developed this weird thing with it. But I took it for a test drive, fell in love with the V8, fell in love with the sound. It was like a dream come true for me. It was a base model, it wasn't anything fancy, but I loved the car, had it for 6 years, and that's why I've got another one. What Procharger package did you get from Beefcake? I got the P1 SC1 tuner kit, high output, that's an STI, high output ID1000 injectors. Raptor or Rebel truck? I don't know what a Rebel truck is, but I like Raptor, so I'm going to say Raptor. When will you sell parts that you no longer use to fans that follow you? I don't know. I don't really post things for sale on my Instagram, and usually if a part that I have that I do want to sell, and if it goes on a 15, it might just go on my fiance's car, like it has. I've just given it to her. What's your favorite part about your car? I love the looks of it. The looks are great. I love the V8. I love the Coyote V8. I love the power. Room to play. So let me keep on going with the questions. What is the one mod you'd want to do to your car that is missing? What is your dream car? Good question by Mustang 09. Check out his YouTube channel. He has an awesome channel. He does a lot of like car reviews and mod videos. He's a really cool guy. I've known him for a little bit. Check out his stuff. But to answer his question, what is one mod you wish you want? What is one mod you want to do to your car that it's missing? I would say if I had the money, I would want to build the drivetrain to hold more power. I want to do half shafts. I want to do a trans build. I want to make it bulletproof, so when I do turn it up to go to 800 wheel horsepower, make a highway monster, I can at least say that the trans is going to hold, everything's going to hold on it. So yeah, I would say that's the one thing. The other part of the question was, what is your dream car? Oh man, realistic dream car, I already drive it. I love my car. It is an absolute dream to drive. It excites me in a lot of ways, with the boost, with the V8 sounds, with the transmission. Everything feels awesome in this car. Dream car, if I had a lot of money, I know a lot of people probably would expect me to say like a Shelby GT350 with twin turbos, and that would be freaking awesome. But I've always been a fan of Aston Martins. I would say any type of a dark gunmetal Aston Martin with something, you know, aftermarket turbos, something like that would be what I would want. I would want something really classy like that, not too brandish like a Lambo. You know, if I had a ton of money, I would love a Lambo as well. But if you let me have one car, I'm not sure which Aston I would pick. Maybe like a traditional like DB7, something like that in a dark gray. would be what I would want. Yeah, that's what I would want. Let's see. How did your tires do in the snow? I didn't really drive my car in the snow, but I would think they'd do pretty terrible. I think this car in general would do pretty terrible in the snow. What do you think the Camaro SS? The Camaro SS, I don't have a problem with it. The 16 looks kind of weird to me. Then again, I like Subarus, and Subarus always look kind of weird to me, but they kind of grow on you. But I prefer the Gen 5 Camaro over the Gen 6, to answer your question. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do in life for a job, and I'm always interested to know what all the different Mustang owners do. What is your career? I worked at a company called Red Hat. They do enterprise level Linux software, open source. Look up Red Hat. I worked for them for almost 10 years. I currently work for a company called Web.com, and I'm a cybersecurity engineer. So that's what I'm doing now. Would I recommend IT in general? It's up to you. If you're doing support, expect a lot of customer service where you're not going to probably get appreciated often for the work that you do. But it pays okay. IT in general, it depends on who you work for, I think. You know, if you like computers, IT is okay. Are you ever going to sell your Mustang? Are you planning on getting the new Shelby GT30 350R? No, I'm probably not going to plan on selling my Mustang anytime soon. 350R, I'm too poor. One on Earth is done to that thing. Can we get a full list of your setup, maybe some specs? To my car, not really a ton done to it except for Sportline springs. I got a Steeda trans mount bushing. Got Cervini's hood, Cervini's lip, Rovos wheels, Procharger, custom exhaust. I got long tubes on the way. I'm gonna have a full interior pretty soon that's redone. Outside of that, that's about it. Oh, and an MMD spoiler. Well, let me check my... Okay, I got 12 miles. Alright. Do you hang out with any Camaros? I try not to. How do you like the Mustang social media community? If you can answer, of course, thank you in advance. The Mustang social media community is pretty, I think, pretty awesome. It's pretty legit. I know Mustang Fan Club, Jaron Cole. He's here locally. He runs a Mustang Fan Club on Instagram, and it's got almost 300,000 followers. Really cool guy. Really good community. The S550 community in general here is really strong because, of course, you guys probably already know, I run Atlanta S550s, and we've got 360 members. Pretty active. A lot of folks come out. We have, I'm sure you've seen from my Instagram posts and my other YouTube videos. So yeah, let's see. What was the other question? The social media community is pretty cool. Everybody's been pretty awesome. Two things, Nemesis, what spoiler is that, and are you lowered on springs, coilovers, or air ride? I have currently right now the MMD V-Series spoiler, and I'm lowered on Sportline springs. My car just looks really low. I don't know why. Maybe I got some really saggy springs. About how much have you spent on mods and aftermarket parts? I mean, you can kind of add it up. If you watch this video entirely and you've actually stuck around, you could probably add up how much I've spent. Retail price for everything on my car, it's probably nearing $14,000 with hood stuff, Procharger, tuning, everything that I've had, the different wheels. I would say about 14,000 maybe. That's really kind of scary to say. I've only had the car for a year. How much weight would you estimate the whole Procharger system added to the front end? I don't know, maybe 60 pounds. I don't know. I mean, the bracket was pretty heavy. The Procharger is pretty heavy, but outside of that, all the other piping and stuff is pretty lightweight. If your car was part of a Megazord Voltron situation, what or whose vehicle would it combine with, and what body part would it be? I don't really know how to answer this question, but I'm going to try my best to answer it. My favorite Transformer would be obviously Barricade, because it's a Saleen Mustang, and I would say mine would be a new character. I don't know what it would be called. Maybe Nemesis. That would be pretty badass. If they had my car in like a Transformers movie, it wouldn't happen because they're pretty hardcore GM. But if they did, it would be the opposite of Barricade, and he wouldn't be the bad guy. So yeah, that would be my answer to that question. And the last question is, how is the hood installed? Do you think a guy with minimal mechanical skill can install it? Yes, the hood is very simple to install. It was not very hard. It just needed an extra set of hands, and it's like 5 bolts, 2 bolts or 6 bolts, 2 bolts for the latch and 2 on each side of the hood. So yeah, that's all the questions, and hopefully I've answered everything for you guys. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.